Yo, what is up you guys? Welcome back to another very exciting video tutorial. So in this video tutorial, we are going to be learning about IBInspectables and IBDesignables and learn why are they so important in iOS application development. Let's get started by opening up Xcode and creating a new Xcode project. I'm going to call this tutorial. You can name this whatever you want. Just make sure your language is Swift and the device is iPhone. And I'm going to save this Xcode project into my desktop. So to get started, I'm going to create a new file. Make sure there's a Cocoa Touch class. And I'm going to call this fancy button. And make sure this is a subclass of UI button. So what this does is that we are given the ability to be able to apply this fancy button class into any UI button in Interface Builder, because this fancy button class is a subclass of the UI button class. Now, let's give this fancy button some properties such that it stands out from the normal UI button class. For example, let's have a property called corner radius, which allows us to modify the rounded corners of the particular button. So I'm going to add a comment signifying this is the corner radius. So let's have a corner radius, so var corner radius CG float. We know this corner radius must be of type CG float. Give it a default value of 0.0. Then I'm going to make this a computed property so that we have access to the dataset keyword. And now, essentially, whatever code is between these two curly braces is called whenever the value of corner radius is changed. For example, if the corner radius now has a new value of 15, this here will be called. And whenever this value gets updated, we want the actual corner radius of the particular button to be whatever value that corner radius is. However, sometimes by accident, this here can be a negative value, and if it's a negative value, this property will be rendered invalid. So what we want to do is to actually mask to bounds, and this mask to bounds essentially just constrains the boundaries of the button to that corner radius. Okay, and we want to set this to true only if the corner radius is more than 0. So which means if the corner radius is negative, it's not going to work. However, if it's more than 0, this thing here will evaluate to true. Hence, it will constrain to the boundaries, it will constrain to the corner radius that we have specified earlier here. Only if the corner radius has a value of more than 0. Okay? And now, let's quickly head into our main.storyboard and drag in a button in there. And now let's quickly give this a subclass of the fancy button, and let's take a look at what's different. So as you can see, there's nothing different, and that is because we were supposed to add a decorator, an IBInspectable decorator, to this variable so that we are able to tell Swift or Xcode that we want to render this, we want to expose this property in the interface builder. We want to show this property in the interface builder itself. To do that, let's just say IBInspectable, like so. And this decorator essentially tells Swift that we want to expose this property in the interface builder. And because we've added the decorator, it's now showing right here. So we can't quite see the corner radius in action because this does not have a background color. So let me quickly add some background color. This is good. And as you can see, nothing's happening. And if I change to 10, nothing also happens. Well, now let's take a look at what's happened when I run this application on an iPhone 7. And let's see what happens. And now, we see that the corner radius we have specified earlier actually works, but it does not work here. And that is because we didn't add the IBDesignable decorator. So let's add the IB designable decorator. Essentially, this IBDesignable decorator essentially tells Xcode that we want to be given the ability to render whatever IBInspectable properties we have here. We want to be able to render all the IBInspectable properties in real time without having to run a virtual device on and on again. And as you can see, because we've added the IBDesignable decorator, Xcode knows that we want to render it in real time. So let's add a couple more properties so to get used to this IBInspectable property. So IBInspectable var, let's have the ability to change the border width, for example. We know the border width should be a type of CG float. Okay, then the did set. So whenever the value of the border width is changed, what we want to do is to set the self.layer.border width. Border width. So be equal to whatever the value of border width is. Alright. Now let's have a couple more. Just one more will do. And now let's have one for the border color. And we know that this should be of type UI color because it's a border color. And let's give this a default value of UI color.clear. And over here, I'm going to set the self.layer to border color. And I'm going to set this to the border color, the property that we have over here. And now let's see this thing in action. But before that, let's resolve some errors. First of all, this border color property is of type CG color, which means it's not a UI color. Hence, we have to convert this UI color property to a CG color using CG color. Alright, so now let's take a look at our properties in action. Click on this button. Now we see that now it has a corner radius, border width, and a border color. And now we see it works. For example, let me have an orange border, and I'm going to increase the border width. So as you can see, this thing here actually works. Isn't this amazing? So you can do, of course, you can do a lot more with IBInspectables and IBDesignables. But all I wanted was to actually give you a basic grounding, a basic foundation in using IBDesignables and IBInspectables. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial, and if you've enjoyed, please hit that like button and leave a comment in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you think. Once again, thanks for watching my video. Until then, see you in the next video. This is Ben, peace out.